Okay, I'm just going to run you through some general instructions about how to use MySimpleShow.com. So, the first thing that you need to do is to navigate to this website. And when you get to the first page, you'll see in the top right hand corner a login. Go ahead and click that and then click sign in with Google. This is important because this means you'll be using your Blake credentials, your Blake email. They'll know that you're part of a school. The next thing that you're going to do is to sign up for the free education package. This is going to give you access to a bunch of different features that you just don't get if you were to try to click a video and make one right away. So to do that, at the top, you're going to click on pricing, and then you're going to scroll down to the bottom and you'll see fun, business, and education, and you're going to click on education. Then you're going to fill in the information about yourself. Unlike some websites where you have to be a certain age to use it, this is made for students. So use your real birthday so that they know that you are a student and in school. When they ask for your address, you can use your home address, but you might also just want to use the Blake school address, which I've included right here. Mark your role as student. And then for the educational institution URL, which you'll see towards the bottom of the page, use blakeschool.org. Then click I accept terms and conditions, and then click order education for free. Then you're going to get to a screen that looks like this. This means you're all signed up and you have the right package. You are going to click create your simple show now. So I'm going to take you over and show you how that's going to work. So once you do that, you're going to click create video. Now go ahead and name your project, and you should probably name it group rights versus individual rights, vaccines, and then choose write your own script. Every time you're going to get these videos, they're really helpful. I'm not going to watch them with you, but every time you click on something, it will give you a little tutorial video, so I recommend watching those. Now, I've looked through all of these storylines. These are templates, and the one that I found sort of the best to use for the purposes that you need it is to discuss the pro and cons of a topic. Other ones that might work too are compare two options and compare three options. Really, any of these could work, so you can click around and see the one that you like the best, but I'm going to show you this one because I know that it works well. So when you click on it, it's going to take you, you'll see the video, so I'm going to exit out of that. It takes you to this framework, and it tells you what to write as you're building your script in each thing. So one thing that's cool about this particular template is when you see the examples, these examples are really helpful for trying to think of group rights and individual rights. So I sort of modeled after that. But the easiest thing to do is to you'll click on the box. And in this first one, you can see from the example over here that it's really a question that you're posing. So, you can decide what your question is, but, in general, it's what happens when the rights of an individual are at odds with the rights of the group. Because this is really the question that you're exploring as you try to understand these perspectives. Then you just sort of click through and keep adding text. Now, one thing that I like is how you'll see over here in the example, it's that you set it up as an individual. Like you could say, this is Judith. Judith is 75 and lives in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And then I could just use this character that I'm creating as a way to model a particular perspective. So if you were writing about vaccines, it could be like maybe Judith never got vaccinated, or maybe you could have Judith be younger and she's not going to vaccinate her kids, or she is going to vaccinate them. It's just a way for you to present an idea. Now, I'm not going to take the time to go through and write each of these things right now with you, but you can just see, like, you click and you add different language. It doesn't necessarily have to correspond. Like, this isn't absolutely where you have to put con arguments, because you don't really have con arguments, but it's, you can just use it as, like, maybe here is where you explore the individual and here's where you explore the group, or however you want to do it. But once you get through your whole script, you're going to click on choose visuals. I'm going to move along to show you one that I've already created a script for. You'll see that when you choose visuals, it takes a little while, because what the program is doing is it's trying to generate visuals to fit with your script. So you'll see here, like, it has my question and it's suggested a couple of images to go with each word. Now you get to decide how you want to do this. So for instance, like, I don't really want a question mark there. So I'm just going to click that negative and we're going to get rid of it. I can see that when I click on when, that this question mark highlights too, and I don't want that. So I'm going to unclick that. Now for someone, they've chosen sort of a group of people, which makes sense, except in my story, I'm talking about one person. I'm talking about Judith from my script. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that box, and then I'm going to click on it again. And then I'm going to look over here and search for a new image. So for instance, I could go up here and type person and hit return, and then those are some of my options. But those aren't really working for me, so I'm going to click on characters. And now I'm going to scroll through and try to find one that fits. Now, I put Judith as being 75, so that person is going to work well for me. So then I can choose that person. And I can resize and, make the images whatever size I want. So when I look at to choose, I don't really like that image either. So I'm going to get rid of that. I do like the image that they chose for health. So I'm going to keep that. But now I need something to show, like, what she's choosing. So I'm going to click on vote. So vote actually did come up with an image that I like. So I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to just move them around. But now it's important to know that, like, as the video talks, when someone is spoken, this image pops up. And when vote is spoken, this will pop up. And when health is spoken, this one will pop up. Just something to consider as you're arranging your images. Now, here are a couple of images, and I moved those around. I do want to show you, though. I'm going to scroll down to this slide. So, like, if you can put in, notice how, like, when I click here, that's text. I already wrote that in. So let me show you what that looks like. If, for instance, I'm just going to use this word, even though it doesn't matter. But so let's say I wanted to do something for the. I can click over here and click on text, and then I can type whatever text I want up here. So you click in that box, and let's say I'm typing Universal Declaration. Now, when that word is spoken, these words pop up. So it's kind of nice. Sometimes you don't need to use an image. Sometimes having, like, a set of words popping up is more helpful. The other thing is, let's say that I wanted to include an image. So this is actually an image that I've already uploaded. So when you click on something and you go to uploads, you can click here. You find the image on your desktop or wherever, then you upload it, and then it's right here, and you can put it here and attach it to a word. As I said before when I was practicing with the, you just have to think about the order in which words are coming, and you really can attach anything to any word and have it pop up in that order. So you don't need to necessarily get stuck on, like, that the word itself has to fit perfectly with an image, but you do want to think about the order in which the images are going to pop up. So I'm going to just skip this step because I don't need to edit this whole video with you here. But once you have every slide looking the way that you want it, you can play the video so that you can see it. Then once it feels like, okay, everything's popping up the way I want it to, I like the images, I like how they look, I'm ready to go. Then you go down here and you're going to click finalize. So you'll get the tutorial video again, which you should watch. Now here is where you pick your voice. So for instance, you can listen.
Hey, let me be the voice of your Simple Show clip and I will help you to bring your message across.
So listen through to the different options and then you can choose the voice that you want it to be. You can also add background music. So if you listen, so you can put it in the background, and if you go here on volume, you can adjust this. Like you can make music a little quieter, you can make the speaker a little louder. The sound effects are sort of the sounds of the images coming and going. So once you have this all looking like how you want, oh, and you can look down here at hand animations. So you can change the different colors of hands to suit your desires and needs. So that's kind of neat. So once you have everything set the way that you want it, you will go all the way down and click finalize video, or up here, sorry. Then it's going to give you your full video that you can see, and I'm going to show you. It looks like this.
What happens when someone has to choose between their right to vote and their health? This is Judith. Judith is 75 and lives in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She has voted in every election since she was 18, but for the primary in 2020, Judith is scared. If she goes to the polls to cast her ballot, she risks getting COVID-19. What should Judith do? Article 21 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights says that everyone has the right to participate in their country's political affairs. However, Article 3 says that everyone has the right to live in freedom and safety, and Article 25 says that everyone should have what they need so they do not fall ill. How will Judith be safe, stay healthy, and get to vote in this election? Because Wisconsin was not expecting a big turnout, they closed many of the polling places around the state. For instance, in Milwaukee, where they usually have 181 polling places, they only had 6. This meant there were long lines and large crowds, far from the ideal circumstances during a global pandemic. Given these circumstances, it does not seem possible for Judith to avoid putting herself at risk if she goes to vote. The good news is that there is a way for people to vote and stay healthy at the same time: mail-in voting. Colorado and Oregon have already been using this system for years. The way it works is that the state mails every registered voter a ballot, a person fills it out, and then mails it back. This means that everyone can vote while still protecting themselves and their community from COVID-19. There are times when we have to choose which right to protect in a certain moment. However, that is not the case with voting. When it comes to elections during a global pandemic, people can have all their rights protected.
All right. So just remember that it takes patience and you'll click around a lot and you just kind of have to keep plugging away and trying new things. It is kind of fun though, it's slightly addictive. So I hope you enjoy yourself, and just remember the goal is to share important information and make it accessible to people. So I think that this format could be a great way to do that. All right, let me know if you have any questions.